This episode is sponsored by NerdGeese. Support our show using code GamingSanity for a 10% discount.
Hello everybody and welcome to Gaming Sanity. I'm your host, Mr. Black, alongside Asian Jesus as always, and we've got another cracking show for you as usual this week. Now, we have got an announcement to make as well. We are separating the Overlook games from the traditional sort of Saturday show we do, so there will be some Overlook Games episodes featuring Vanquish and Halo 3 ODST to look forward to. That will be coming uploaded over the next few days. So Matthew, how have you been? The new GTA5 DLC is out. Would you like to fill us in on that action?
Well, I'm not one for the 4th of July, but by God, GTA hosts a good one. It's fantastic. This update is probably one of the best ones that's actually been released. One mainly is a large monster truck. It's brilliant fun.
That looks epic.
Yeah, it's been absolutely great.
I love the monster
fun.
truck in San Andreas. That was epic, wasn't it?
Yeah, no. The unfortunate thing there did have a couple of glitches where it wouldn't spawn in properly, and I'm pretty sure I've stayed on the ODST release, our Overlook game that we did earlier. Yeah, as soon as mine spawned in, I got a message it had been stolen straight away, and I'm promptly going up and down the highway trying to chase down my own monster truck, being driven around by some strange Canadians. But
it did look cool.
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. And best of all, they've added in heaps of fireworks for the 4th of July, and one of them is the special weapon, which is the firework rocket launcher.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's hilarious fun. It's good for low-level players that need to get hold of, want to get hold of a rocket launcher but aren't high enough to be able to purchase the main one. And it doesn't destroy vehicles on contact. It will literally stun them. It will probably kill the driver and just leave a lovely little fire going along. Also, the other thing, apart from all the clothing updates and that have been placed in, you would probably like this one. Going back to Red Dead Redemption, the musket rifle has appeared. And despite how it's one shot per reload, it doesn't stop me from getting into the survival mode and still finding a good hiding place and using that one shot reload, because it is pretty much an instant kill with every shot. And if it doesn't kill them first shot, they'll lie on the floor until they'll bleed out as well. And the housing, you can buy a couple of properties out in the countryside, mainly.
Okay,
Paleto Bay is the area up north, the northern town.
Yep.
Pretty much, there's a couple of houses up there, like a 2-store garage and a 6-store garage. They're the same as, like, the interiors are the same as what you'd get in the normal game anyway. But at the same time, you've got a wonderful location that keeps you out of the firefights. That is Los Santos. And there's a couple more civil people, and it is really a couple of like-minded people have actually gone out to the countryside with the same idea to just get out of the way and just live out in the countryside, because why not? But
I'm hoping some of this transfers over to the the current gen releases now. I totally want that massive monster truck on the PS4 version.
Yeah, well,
I'll be devastated if I can't get that.
These are a limited time release, so honestly, I would suggest that if you had like a 2-day gold thing, just pop in, go buy the bloody thing and keep it stored on you.
Well, unfortunately, I got rid of the game because I'm anticipating the new. Mind you can always give me one. You can always give me a monster truck.
They're not. They don't sit in your garage. You have to actually order them in through Pegasus. That's the unfortunate part. So you can't clone them. But I guess when we're playing, I can order it in and we can drive around on it some night.
Yeah, it's going to be totally awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Very much so.
But yeah,
Now,
that's the unfortunate.
speaking of the next gen versions, looking very exciting, I have to say.
Graphics
I'm very
are brilliant.
interested. Now, there was some news sort of leaked the other week where some people had apparently got hold of some of the heist mission data, and there was a bit in there that was talking about 32 players. Now,
Yeah, that's the potential future. So
yeah, so I'm wondering if, obviously, when the next gen and PC versions come out, whether they are actually going to implement that for those, because obviously they're more than capable of dealing with that. And obviously the rebuffed Xbox and PlayStation networks, are running a lot better than a lot more capable than they were, with the old gen consoles. I can definitely see it happening on the PC for without a shadow of a doubt.
I reckon they
I can definitely
would.
see some modders going even beyond that and making even more players available.
Yeah, no, I reckon they would, mainly because the problem with 32-player online isn't because of the network, it's because of the old consoles. It's about the power of having 32 people playing around at the same time, which can be an issue. It's got to be happening because
That's too big.
stuff like Titan.
You could have hundreds of players on there.
Yeah, it would probably create a bit more of a challenge, especially with bounties and that. But it makes the world feel a bit more filled in, and like Rockstar have done a good job at trying to make it feel more like a massive online game rather than just how GTA 4 was. I mean, that was the problem with GTA 4. You've got 15 players running around all around the airport, and nobody's out going into the other parts of the city, kind of thing. That's the unfortunate part. You want to go off to different sections of the map where there are other players, and it could help branch out to get a few more. The problem is with GTA at the moment is every time there's an update, there's a large influx of kids, like these overly aggressive players that just come in, and they just want to kill everyone, or they just want to fuck with you. And that's the unfortunate part. And there are a few that you'll bump into that will want to help you, or they just want to go about do their own thing, but they're welcome to have other people follow them. Instead, you're stuck with a group of people that will just target you because you drove past them. They will chase you for about an hour or so. Well, last week I had a group chasing me for about 2 hours, and then I sat down inside the house, and they went, you'll get bored. You just get bored. And I'm sitting there watching Republican Space Rangers on the TV, and I let these guys get a bit bored. Yeah, and Moorhead rises again. But yeah, these kids got bored. At the same time, there was one that was still walking around, and as soon as the other guys left, I walked back out, and one of my mates had just logged in. And this kid was just standing outside the house. I go, "Are you after me as well?" He's like, "Well, I was just doing what the other guys said." And I just went, "Oh, you poor bugger." He's like, "Don't make me, I will shoot you." I went, "That's not very nice of you." At that point, my mate's just rolled down the corner, and he's like, "See, I have backup." I went, "Have you checked the gamer tag?" Shit. So we took this kid hostage. And we sent messages back to these people that went off into a different game, and they came back, and yeah, we kind of just locked him in a car, and just barricaded him in. He could get out, but he just, I don't know, some kids get a bit gullible, especially since I just plugged in 5 satchel charges onto the car as well. And it was a bit of a hostage negotiation, which didn't turn out so well. I just said, "Bring me this car," and they went off and brought me this car. So I got in the car and then just set the chargers off.
You heard it first here, people. Exclusive to Gaming Sanity. Hostage negotiations. That's how you do it. Excellent work. Excellent work, Matthew. Very pleased. Now, one of the betas that's been sort of going on at the moment, that I've been involved in, is the Battlefield Hardline beta. I'm going to put some footage over this so you can have a look and see what we're talking about. Yeah, going from GTA Online where there's cops and robbers. Now,
Do you hear
don't
my
get me
hard,
wrong,
heavy breathing
looking
there?
at E3 and everything, in that extremely stage-managed demo where everybody was sort of driving around in cars and it was like a full-on cops and robbers action going on. Unfortunately, in the actual game, that's not how things play out, I'm afraid. It unfortunately descends into just general Call of Duty / Battlefield play of running around in buildings shooting everybody. I think I was one of the few people who was actually driving around in a car. Now, I have to say, I'm feeling a bit sort of disappointed in this so far because it really appealed to me, the sense of cops and robbers, and I thought that would be an excellent way to do an online game and sort of distinguish itself and move away from the traditional sort of Battlefield formula. But unfortunately, that's not happened. Now, I don't know whether you've played the beta or been involved, Matthew. I don't think you have you yet?
No.
You will be able to see some of the footage of it. But it just degenerates into just random running around in buildings, shooting everybody, and it's just I'm just so disappointed.
They've just
Very
made a
disappointed.
first-person GTA, really. That's it. It's just a bunch of maniacs running around the same spot over and over again, shooting each other.
I mean, the thing is, I can see the potential with it, but I think they need to put in some more structure into the actual game and force people to play it in a certain way.
I mean,
Because otherwise they just don't do it.
yeah, I mean, I know what they're going after. They're wanting to go with like how SWAT 4 used to play, and that they actually use tactics in these games. But
SWAT 4 was fantastic.
it was probably one of my favourite games back in its time. They want to bring stuff like that in, but at the same time, we can get very antisocial online, and tactics just go out the window unless you're part of some strange group that uses every single military command known to man, yet they're 8 years old.
Well, the thing is that the potential's there to have a good cops and robbers game, right? I mean, obviously, it's very much a Michael Bay cops and robbers game, in the sense that everybody's just got ludicrous amounts of firepower and steaming around, but nobody was particularly following any of, get in the cars and drive around and really try and get... Everybody was just sort of camping in various areas. It was nothing different. It was just Battlefield. It was like a mod for Battlefield, just with a different, look of things. Really bizarre. Really strange. I mean, I'm optimistic for the single player, because obviously it's made by the guys at Visceral Games of, Dead Space fame and so forth. So they may actually make a decent campaign for once. But the online, I was so disappointed, I have to say. Because watching the E3 demos and stuff, it looked epic, and I was like, I can understand this, and I could get on board with this.
Something
Very, very disappointed, and graphically, it's absolutely abysmal.
something that's just cropped in my head that could have been a nicer change. Doing cops and robbers and that. To be honest, thinking back to LA Noire, it would be quite nice to have a 1940s cops and robber shooter.
We could do like a Prohibition era type thing, couldn't you?
Yes,
With a load of people in some sort of speakeasy.
That's like, the cops have just broken in on some alcohol smuggling ring, and, you could bring out some brilliant scenery for that as well.
Yeah, fully destructible.
I mean,
as well,
cabaret
with Tommy
shows
guns.
as well, all that.
Think of the Untouchables sort of action going on.
I mean, that could have been a potential idea, but yeah. Ah, well.
If anybody's listening to this who's a games designer, let's get that going. Prohibition era. That's what we need.
I mean, for example...
Mafia could do that, couldn't it? I believe they are making Mafia 3, aren't they? There's
excellent.
something about that, wasn't there? Last year.
I was just thinking, you got to look at the scene from GTA4, Perestroika, when you have to kill Faustin at the Perestroika cabaret show.
Yeah.
That was an excellent scene, and it's something that you could use.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's an area that doesn't get seen much, so... but like 1940s New York crime, that'd suit.
Yeah, it'd be really good. And you could also do the Chicago. You could do the Roaring Twenties. You could do Atlantic City as well, like Boardwalk Empire, couldn't you?
True.
There's an untapped market there, isn't there, for a game, actually?
If there's
Right
a
there.
boardwalk and a bowling alley, do it.
Yeah. No, there is some serious untapped potential with the sort of early 1900s for gaming. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta say, this is the shame with these cities and that is when they develop something for it, they just don't get the feel right. Say, you look at Watch Dogs. This is one that I'll recommend for a lot of people that are playing it. You look at the track list that's on there, take it all off, go to the jazz and blues section, and just put in those tracks, because that actually suits Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, and you get what the feel is, and it's what these cities are about. They were very strong in jazz and blues, and it works well for them because it creates a very nice atmosphere. Instead of just high-powered techno randomness that
Yeah, I
goes
think
into
they went
these
with
things.
that though, just for the sort of futuristic type aspect, didn't they?
With
crazy
Watch
techno
Dogs.
and whatever.
Yeah. But I mean,
I still haven't played more than 45 minutes of Watch Dogs yet. I've got to get round to doing that game.
See,
Well, I've
I
heard a
do.
number of things from a couple of friends who played it. One guy didn't really like it. He couldn't get past the driving. Somebody
Yeah.
else said he managed to get used to the driving after about 10 hours. And then obviously I've got another mate who's completely addicted to it, and it's like he's gone all Assassin's Creed and Far Cry like he does with these games, and just goes around wildly collecting everything, buzzing it.
Yeah.
It's a very
I mean,
polarising game, isn't it? Really?
I really did like Watch Dogs for what it was. But at the same time, it would have been so much better with less Saints Row in it and more of GTA 4, because that's what they were originally. You can see what they were trying to get. They were trying to make Chicago feel as if we did back in 2008 when we first played GTA 4.
Well, that was mind-blowing.
But they put in a bit of the silliness, which is fair enough. Like the electronic trips or whatever it's called.
Yeah, they
those
look fun
are the
with
things.
the crazy spider tank and stuff.
Yeah, they were really fun, but at the same time, it's just like, where did we get this? This isn't like Deus Ex where there's chips in our head where we can just do these things. They're just like little portable video games kind of thing. You know, it was just like it's trying to be silly and serious at the same time, and it just bounces off each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they picked one side of what they were trying to do, they would probably come out a lot better, and preferably more of a serious GTA-ish side. But yeah, God. Yeah, no, I've got to say, out of everything, the Watch Dog merchandise has actually been good. It's suitable for winter out here, actually. I got the face mask and the cap and that, and they're very comfortable. Very comfortable. Replace my old satchel. New one, Watch Dogs. But yeah. It's surprising. Not many people realise it's Watch Dogs yet. You get complimented on it, and it's just like, oh, this is funny. Go back a year, you're wearing gaming merchandise, and people are calling you a fag in the middle of the street.
Well, yes. Yeah, and also, it kind of reminds me of the awesomeness of Adam Jensen's leather jacket merchandise.
Indeed.
Deus Ex. Now, that is cool.
Mm.
I actually went on the website the other week, and they've made a new one that's slightly better. So I might have to invest in one of those one day.
How true.
And also, I was pleased to see that the new Deus Ex will be coming soon. Well, probably not soon, in the next few years.
Okay.
So I'm very excited for another bit of Deus Ex, because I have to say they did that game very well.
Anything seriously rumoured in it, or just what's been announced that it's going to be
Well,
in the works?
there was some sort of pattern, and it's sort of to do with the world of Deus Ex. It's going to be a much bigger game. So, I mean, we've not done a concrete screenshots or anything. They've just confirmed that it's happening, and that's that. But looking forward to that. I mean, when was Deus Ex? Now, what, 2011, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's about 3 years ago now. Yeah, so they should be well on one of those. Apparently, that game that came out on the iOS and that was terrible. But the re-released on Steam was just absolutely.
I've got
abysmal.
that. I've played about an hour's worth. It's all about the same. It's kind of badly scripted. Yeah, no, it was just a bit of a bizarre bloody thing. It like had massive good reviews from it. But at the same time, like I'm playing on the iPad Mini, and it's so glitchy.
Yeah.
Like, there's too many bugs in it. Even when it tries to send you a push notification, because you get like those weird iOS daily rewards from certain games, the actual messages it sends to me now, it's not like, collect your free certain amount of this now, today. It's a random line of script. It's completely lost the information that was meant to be pushing to your iOS device. It's just random gibberish. So
terrible generally. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty bad. One of the lads I know on Steam, he's been playing it, and he just said, I said, should I get it? And he just went, hell no, a resounding hell no.
the benefit is that GTA San Andreas, the GTA games have been bug fixed a bit better. They all come out with some
iOS
serious.
On the iOS.
They've always come out with a few serious glitches on it, but on the same time, they're putting in a huge amount of content on these small devices, and as much as these devices can put it out, at the same time, it does have issues. And I mean, GTA 3 is probably the easiest and less buggy one to play. But GTA San Andreas, when that came out on both the 4S and the iPad Mini, and the iPad Mini is still actually a reasonably new device. My 4S has got probably 1 year left before it's considered obsolete.
Yeah.
Yeah, like both platforms, it's just issues. And that's the unfortunate part. So, but yeah.
Now before we move on to our little Destiny conversation, I just want to do a massive shout out to this game that's just come out on the PC called Astebreed.
Ah, yes.
It's a mech shooter, right? The highest rated PC game of the year, made by 5 people in Japan, an indie studio. I will put a link in the description to a video of the game, and you can buy it on Steam now for $10.99. It is epic. Unbelievably good. It's like treasure shooters, it's like cave shooters, it's unbelievable. It's like a love letter to every game that Treasure's made. It's side-scrolling, but also it goes top-down, and also it goes third-person. It randomly changes at certain points for cinematic effect as well. You've got lock-on, you've got a normal shot, and you've got a sword that you can use. Everything's been designed by these guys, visually unbelievable. The soundtrack's amazing. The game's really, really fun as well. Excellent game. I mean, it's come out of left field, out of nowhere, but this is the whole point of this show, isn't it? To educate people and do massive shout-outs for these games. It's got. I mean, the story is pretty much ridiculous, but as generally a lot of Japanese stuff is, it is quite ridiculous. But it's all done in nice anime cutscenes. It's all done in actual Japanese with subtitles. It's very well done. Extremely slick game. I know you saw it earlier, Matthew. What do you think?
It's oh god, it's like an LSD trip, really, isn't it? The amount of changing colours, everything on it is just ridiculous, and it's what you expect out of these games. But was it a 5-man team?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5-man team to make that. That's bloody crazy.
If you see it, well, obviously you will do. We'll put some links in and some footage of it to have a look at. But I'll tell you, to say 5 people have come up with it, so I've no idea. It must be 5 extremely talented guys.
It's just so much that happens on screen, and I know it's just one of those shooters, but at the same time, like I can't even process the amount of shit that's going on the screen at that point, and it's bloody good. Just
I
to
played
see
it for about an hour yesterday, and it's unbelievable. The controls are exceptionally tight. Fantastic game. Amazing graphics.
I was just going to say, what was that shooter you were playing? This has got to be about 4 or 5 years ago. I was on GTA 4 at the time, messing about in the airport, and you just got this game arrived. It was a 2D side-scroller.
Death Smiles.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one.
Yes.
That one was.
With the witches flying around. Yeah, absolutely bonkers.
That one's worth notifying on that.
Yes, Death Smiles, fantastic. Oh yes, well we're going to be doing a shooter episode at some point. I have a burning desire to do the Dreamcast episode.
Yes.
I have now 6 shooters from the Dreamcast that have come out over the past 4 years that people need to be aware of. The Dreamcast is not dead, people. The Dreamcast is still going. still alive, and it has got some fantastic games, namely Gunlord, Neo XYX, Fast Strikers, and some other glory that is coming out soon. And there is a new shooter actually for the Dreamcast coming out in October called The Ghostblade by Ucast. And I will be in the end credits of that, people. So I'm going to live on forever digitally. So you will be able to... We will feature that on a show when I've finished the game. We will actually view the end credits with me in, so that's good. And there will be a plug for Gaming Sanity in the end credits as well, because that's what I've requested.
Excellent.
So how good is that? How exciting is that? Some people go out and make statues of themselves and whatever. I'm going to live on digitally. So there we are. Fantastic. Excellent work. Now, let's move on to the big, exciting news of the summer, and one of the first big games to drop at the start of the winter game season, and that is Destiny. Now, I've had some time to reflect on the alpha. I know the last show we did, I was very excited, and I can say that I am no less excited. It is a fantastic game. The beta will be going live on the PlayStation 4 on the 17th of July. We will have exclusive footage from that on this show. There's going to be more planets as well, which I'm very excited to see. I'm just hoping that we don't get too much, so that it kind of ruins the game for me. But I'm very curious to see if we get any sort of story or any context to the game. But I just still can't believe how tight the controls were, how everything, all the different game styles melded together into a package. Because I know everybody's been sort of a bit coy about Destiny because it's a hard game to explain, and I think it's hard for sort of games journalists to try and explain to people. It's hard for me to try and explain to anybody, and I think that's why they're just releasing these alphas and betas to just say, look, we're very confident in our game. It's quite a hard game to get your head around. Just play it and you will understand. And I'll tell you this, within 5 minutes you've completely understood what's happening, and it's fantastic. Now, I know you're very excited, aren't you now, Matthew? What are your impressions? Obviously, you got to see some of the footage that I'd recorded.
Yeah, honestly, with these betas and alphas and that, it creates a better version of having a demo. Because it actually makes the consumer feel like they're actually part of the development process, which is a brilliant way to do things, and plus give a nice taster out. And at the same time, although it's a limited access to it, it's for the actual consumers to actually spread the information out to other people to get the interest, rather than just everybody play the demo and think of what it is. It's how we work, and it's how these games sell. It's because there's other people there to actually properly vouch, because they may have actually had the exclusive to get in and play them. And Destiny,
there was actually 6 million players played it on PS4 and PS3 combined.
Yeah.
So there's a decent chunk of people who've actually played it. Now, I'm sure pretty much every one of those will buy the game.
Indeed, and it's just very well worth them to try. So, and you got to look at Destiny. It is fantastic what Bungie's done. Martin O'Donnell's done a fantastic job on the audio as well. I mean, it's
maybe Peter Dinklage not. That wizard came from the moon. Did it now, buddy? Oh, I never guessed that.
The problem with this game is everyone's like, oh, it's Peter Dinklage. I never realised, like they're going out to Game of Thrones, I've never watched a single episode of Game of Thrones. How that? It's the midget.
You should absolutely watch Game of Thrones. You should just binge watch it over a week.
I still haven't finished watching Breaking Bad yet. I've still got the last season of that to go, and slowly trying to trudge my way through Sopranos. And I know that saying trudge is quite a bad way to present something, but Sopranos is a brilliant series. There is just a lot of information to take in from that. So
now you know you've pre-ordered Destiny. You will get a beta code, right?
Yeah.
Now you can choose which format you want that on. Have you sold your PS3 yet?
No, I've still got it.
Right. Well, what I would recommend you do is get it on the PS3.
Okay.
And play it.
Well, has that still got access?
Very interested to see how it holds up on the last gen consoles.
It's just PS3 and PS4, is it, or is it Xbox and all that as well?
Well, the Xbox are getting it as well, but you'll get in a couple of weeks earlier with PlayStation.
Okay.
You get in on the 17th, whereas I believe the Xbox One and 360 at the end of July, they go live.
I'll probably go at the end of the July because the way work shifts are at the moment is very hit and miss. So yeah,
But yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see what it's like on the last gen consoles.
oh, absolutely.
Now, obviously, we've seen the footage from the PS4 version that I recorded. Fantastic, exceptional visuals, especially that old Russia level as well. It really reminded me of actually Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl and the Call of Pripyat, how it looked.
And if you haven't ever played those games, seriously, get out and play them.
Yeah. If you've never played those, you need to play those.
We
If
will
you've
actually,
got a PC, get those.
yeah. I mean, probably in the next few weeks we might even do an overlooked on that one. It's still a very popular game, but a lot of people still haven't heard of it. It's very much overlooked by games like Fallout anyway, so...
It's an excellent game. I mean, there's been a Kickstarter recently, actually, from some guy claiming he was making a new Stalker, and I think it's been brought out as a fraud.
Ah, that's
Don't
a
quote
shame.
me on that, but I believe it has.
They-
I think he's been debunked, and he's not actually anything to do with it. I think he was asking for like $50,000 or something. How are you going to even start to make a game like Stalker on $50,000 is beyond me. I've no idea how you'd even consider
I mean,
doing that.
they
Not
did
enough money.
start. They did start doing a new one, but I think that got cancelled. Because what that was under, was it THQ?
Well,
or
no,
something?
the guy who actually ran the studio for some reason just sort of closed the studio and said, "I'm off."
Oh, okay.
There was some sort of something happened, and he shut down his own studio.
Oh, that's a shame.
Now we are sad to report as well that Crytek are in some serious trouble at the moment as well, aren't they?
Oh,
Now-
yes.
Now we know that the global sales of Rise and Crysis 3 combined are in the region of 3 million, which is nowhere near good enough, is it really? Considering that Crysis 3 came out on pretty much everything. I have to say
Well,
that
that's-
it's a visual masterpiece that was pretty special on the PC, and obviously
Yeah,
makes it very
unfortunately.
good. Now, what I'm more concerned about is that around sort of 100 Crytek UK staff have ceased work in a dispute over missing pay, which is jeopardising the reboot of Homefront, and also Crytek UK are the guys who made Time Splitters, formerly Free Radical, the guys who actually came from Rare to make Time Splitters, and made GoldenEye. A lot of the key designers on that. So
Well,
that's very bad news.
I've heard that Time Splitters is actually under like a fan base remake at the moment. I think there's like waiting approval. So the benefit there is if it is approved, then hey, we get to see Time Splitters again. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is with Crytek is that the previous games of Crysis, like 2 and 3, they just haven't really lived up to what Crysis 1 was. And, I mean, for Christ's sake, Crysis 3 made us the biggest laughing joke out of the series. Mainly
the Alpha set.
the Alpha Ceph is coming. I've seen it, you won't see it, but I've seen
Don't
it. The
tell her
Alpha
about the
Ceph is
Alpha
coming.
Ceph, and the first thing out of his mouth is the Alpha Ceph. Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Whatever you do not talk about the Alpha Ceph. Alright, report. The Alpha Ceph is coming. I've got my tinfoil hat on.
That was terrible. The story was terrible.
Yeah, they just, like, visually they were brilliant, but it was a Michael Bay film for both 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And, like, unfortunately they could have done a lot better by bringing the freedom back to the games. Because that was the benefit of Crysis 1. It was just that you could sit there and you could bring up a tactical plan of what you're going to do, and that's what they promoted. And yeah, it's like even with the Psycho campaign
I loved
connected
that.
to it.
That was
it
brilliant.
Warhead?
Yeah, Warhead.
Yeah. Warhead was
That's better than
brilliant.
That's better than the Crysis 1 in my opinion. Is
Like,
Warhead. Brilliant.
Warhead still had that element in there where you could sit there and try and go, what am I going to do here and here? Yet they did have some fast-paced action sections to it that you couldn't really go around, and you are forced to try and survive. At the same time, they had best of both elements. They take all that out, really, just for Michael Bay, 2 and 3. And like, yeah, I mean, Crysis 2 just dragged itself on a little bit more, just to tie up close ends kind of thing, and Crysis 3, God knows what the fuck was going on with it. But they were right, the Alpha Ceph was coming.
yeah, they were. No, I was impressed visually with it to play, but I was also very disappointed in the level design and how it went.
Yeah, the only benefit about Crysis 3 was how well they tried to humanise Psycho, because they had the suit surgically removed from him.
Yeah.
And that was actually good acting on his part.
Yeah, yeah, Psycho was awesome. Good character. He should have his own games.
He should have just been in the games.
They should just make games. You should just be him. That's what they should have done. Just be him, not Prophet, because Prophet's rubbish.
Prophet was a right fucking dick.
He's a bit wooden. That's the problem.
Well, you look at Crysis 2. He hands the suit over to I can't remember its name, as Alcatraz. And then at the end, Alcatraz's body's taken over by Prophet because his memories are still in the suit.
Yeah.
And like, there is a whole novel section where it goes into like, Alcatraz is trying to discuss with Prophet and, you know, trying to go, like, I want my body back kind of thing. And it just turns into this weird situation where Prophet's just like, we could fight over it, or you could walk, and Alcatraz just has to leave his own body kind of thing, so he just fades off into the memory of the suit. And it's just like, you prick. Okay, this guy was dying, but you've just prolonged his death just so you could take over his body and find the Alpha Ceph.
Absolutely. Completely
So
insane. Absolutely insane.
My voice hurts after.
So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.